and how much it is connected with your reputation, and how much it is connected with your trust, that people start coming to you and start getting your advice, or trying to make you come in between to get the conflicts resolved. Motivating employees through listening. A manager can improve morale and productivity by understanding what motivates each employee. Listen to employees to discover what aspects of the job they find most rewarding and challenging. Don't expect to understand an employee's needs from a single conversation. Continue to be an attentive listener so that the employee knows you are sincerely interested in what she has to say. Uh, Motivation is, as I told you, is the most important part. The more you listen to people, the more you try to understand them, the more you try to understand their perspective, it builds up motivation among all your peers or your employees, or your coworkers. You don't have to be a leader to develop these skills. Even if you are at an entry level, or you are a mid manager level, if you develop these skills of listening, and you follow these four rules, then you will see that the leadership qualities which will evolve in you over the time, and over the in the long run, it will benefit you in your personal life and both in your professional career. So, 5 actionable steps to improve listening skills. When you're talking to somebody, as I explained to you, there is a constant disease of busyness in our lives now. We need to limit our distractions. When you're talking to somebody, silence any technology and move away from distractions so that you can pay full attention to the other person. And also at the same time, you're trying to take to take note of the person's tone of voice and body language as well. If you are yourself distracted, you won't be able to gather the information what you want to from the other person. So you need to limit distractions. Pay attention to what's being said, not what you want to say. As I explained to you earlier, whenever you're listening to somebody, you have to keep this in mind, that what you want to say, it doesn't matter. While listening, you need to understand what other person want to say. So you need to set a goal of being able to repeat the last sentence. How you can achieve that? So you whenever you're talking to a person, try to repeat the last sentence the other person say. This keeps your attention on each statement. For example, somebody comes to you and he said, "Okay, I came office a little bit late, but this is my reason. My car was broken, and this caused my car to broke, or my son was sick, or I was sick." So you try to gather information. Okay, you're sick, what happened to you? Okay, try to take have you taken any medicine? Have you tried to take rest? So these kind of things, it keeps the other person involved in you all the time. uh, and in any conversation, uh, there is a silence. So be okay with silence, because this is a normal dialogue. Whenever you are having a dialogue with anybody, there always are breaks in between. So you don't have to always reply or have comment. A break in dialogue can give you a chance to collect your thoughts. This is a good time break you can have in order to gather your thoughts, um, have some more questions, or try to take some clarifications from the person you're talking to. Encourage the other person to offer ideas and solutions before you give yours. That's a very good and valid point. Uh, Encouraging the other person who you're talking to, uh, ask them for the ideas before you give yours. In this way, you are actually aiming to do 80% of the listening and 20% of the talking. Because if you start giving them ideas, this means you are the one who's talking more and listening less. So you need to go the other way around. So you talk less and listen more. Restate the key points you heard and ask whether they are accurate. Uh, so during the conversation or after the conversation, you need to ask or repeat uh, the person whatever the problem statement is. For example, let me see whether I heard you correctly is an easy way to clarify any confusion. In this way, you are trying to restate your position, that you are still involved in the conversation and you're trying to find solutions, and motivating the other person to open up more. So this one picture from my very favorite book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Uh, there is a very this is a picture which is shown in the picture in this book, where they try to look at the perspective. Perspective plays a key role in active listening. For example, in this picture, you'll see a noble woman with a feather and a nice necklace. So, but if you look at the picture very closely and you try to go into details of the picture, you might also see an old woman with a crooked nose and a long jaw, cheek. So there are always perspective to anything. So in order to develop your listening skills, make sure you understand the perspective, which is a key listening skill. So what's the overall motive behind listening? That you need to keep in mind always. That to your peers, you are trying to connect them. You're trying to support them in bringing up the issues, discussing with you, and you're motivating them. But what is the overall uh, concept behind and motivation behind listening? That you want to improve the situation. You want to improve the situation in a way that it benefits the person who's actually coming and talking to you. Uh, and this is the whole motive behind listening. So in my previous slides, I explained to you that what is the main hurdles to active listening, which is the constant busyness. And when a person comes to you, what you can do in order to improve the conversation. And in the end, why you are having the conversation. This is a slide which explains you this is the reason why you're having the conversation, to connect to connect your minds with each other, to support the person in actively solving the problem. In this way, you are actually motivating your employees, which overall improves the situation for the employee and for the organization. So, how, in the previous slide, I was explaining to you that you need to build trust. But in order to build trust with your employees or your peers, what can influence them? There is a Greek philosophy which is represented by 3 words. I'm not going to go into details of those because this is not the subject right now, but it's a very important topic to touch base upon because it's directly linked with active listening skills. Ethos, pathos, and logos. So what does ethos means? Ethos is your personal credibility, which I told you is very important for your listen to build your listening skills. People should trust you. People should trust you that you inspire them, It's like your emotional bank account. So once they trust you, they will come to you to discuss their matters. Pathos is that you're connecting the minds, you're connecting your mind with the other person, which I explained to you in one of the previous slides, that you are motivating them, you're supporting them, you are reflecting what they are trying to say. So that's a Greek word called pathos. Pathos is the empathetic side, is the alignment with the emotional trust of another person's communication. After all, once you connect with the person, with your credibility, what you do is you try to reason in the end, because any of the conversation is not completed if you don't have a reason part of the presentation. Why? Because if a person comes to you, they explain their problems, they discuss with you, and you listen to them, and you're not getting connected with them in order to try to solve the problem, in order to reason with them, the conversation goes in the dead end. The employee will not be motivated. So you need to come up with your logics, which is the reasoning part of the presentation. So that's a very, very important part, which you need to make sure that your conversation ends with the proper reasoning and proper motivation to your peers. So the order is important. Whenever you're connecting, uh, you need to make sure that your credibility is there before you go into any conversation as a leader. Uh, and then you take the pathos side, which is the empathetic or sympathetic side. And this builds your character, your relationships, and then the logic of your presentation. So far we have touched base upon uh, active listening skills, but uh, some facts across the industry or in our lives that uh, in here that really make you think about the importance of effective listening, because facts are very important when it comes to building your listening skills. This shows you that where the overall organization is lacking behind. So as for the studies, I've taken these studies from Forbes. One of the article, which was a very nice article, I've given the reference in the end also about this article, which says that 85% of what we know, we have learned through listening. If you look at your personal lives, like I have two kids, if I don't listen to them, or they don't listen to me, they're not going to learn anything. So I learn from them, they learn from us. So and how actually they're learning? Because they're listening to us all the time. Whatever we tell our kids to do, they try to do that, and they try to copy us. But how is being done? It's through listening. So that's a very important fact. 85% of what we know, we have learned through listening. Humans generally listen at a 25% comprehension rate. Uh, that's also applicable to anybody, especially husbands, that whatever is being said to them, the human mind can comprehend 25% of the conversation. Rest of the conversation, you need to build your skills to comprehend all the conversation. But that's a general fact. In a typical business day, we spend 45% of our time listening, 30% of our time talking, 16% reading, and 9% writing. And you can imagine that when I say that we spend 45% of our time listening, from 45%, we are only comprehending 25%. So 25% of 45% is the time we actually try to understand what the other person is saying, which is a very, very low ratio. So in order to improve this percentage, you need to build on your listening skills. Uh, Less than 2% of all professionals have had formal education or learning to understand and improve listening skills and techniques. So Zabist have come up with a very good initiative, I must say, and thanks to the Zabist management and the team over there, that they have started this initiative of actually educating how uh, what are the listening skills from the people who are actually there in the market. Um, so it's very, very important that all the institutes or all the professional organization, they should arrange for a formal um, education for their staff. Okay, leaders who don't listen will eventually be surrounded by people who have nothing to say. Andy Stanley. In while, while being on the journey of leadership, if you're not listening to people, or the people you have not built trust, or you have not built the environment for them to come and speak to you, then only those people will come to you who have nothing else to say. Because there is no trust between you and your peers. You don't have the reputation. Then why people should come? And after all, you don't take any action, or you don't conclude the conversation with reasoning. So why they will come to you? So you will be only surrounded by people who have nothing to say. Also, being a leader, you need to make sure that most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. So you need to change this behavior. Uh, and that can only be done once you develop your listening skills and you want to be leader, you want to be with your reputation, with the trust in your peers. So listen, but don't listen just to reply. So let's discuss our thoughts always. That's very important. That in order to actively listen and develop your skills, you need to uh, gather your thoughts in order to understand what you yourself can do things in a better way to improve your skills. Because some of the things which I told you are academia. Some of the things you need to develop on your own. How to connect among your peers. How to make sure that your reputation is built over there. How people should be able to trust you. So you need to gather your thoughts around that. So we are coming to the end of our conversation. Some of the references which I have used in the presentation, it's appearing on the screen. My favorite is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey, and some other contributions I've taken from different places. I hope the whole conversation you really enjoyed. And I really want to thank Zabist for arranging this session. It's with the COVID in situation, it's very easy for people to connect with each other now. Before COVID, constant busyness and other distractions were there. Now you can see it's around 8:30 in Australia, but I'm able to easily connect with all of you. So I really enjoyed this. And if anyone of you like to send me any question or any discussion topic, please feel to do so. And I'm happy to guide you through. So I'll end my note on one thing. from uh, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, is whenever you're having a discussion with somebody, always think win-win. So you need to make sure that the conversation ends up in the winning situation for both of you. It should not be either on your side or on the other side. This is one very important thing, which I believe is going to go a very long way. So thank you so much, everybody, and hope to connect with you all soon again. Thank you. Let me take a quick snap. Bye bye. Take care.